Deadlines are some of the most important things when it comes to productivity, especially if you're a procrastinator like myself. You tend to just wait and do everything in the last 10 seconds you have available to you or cram everything in at once. However, for most of us, the result of missing a deadline is a bad grade or at most being fired from a job. But what if the result was, well, getting mauled to death by a fucking bear? Chances are you'd be working pretty fucking quick at that point. Or better yet, pawn your work off onto others without them knowing. You'd say that's messed up, but I'd say I'm stickers, and this is Over the Hedge.
We want to show you something. Come on, hurry. Check it out. Your new home.
A scoundrel among us.
You should be ashamed of yourself. We let you into our family and you deceived us.
I gave you my heart and you ripped it into a million pieces.
Before I actually start here, I want to mention that watching this movie was the first time I ever flown a kite, I guess. So revisiting this film now was a beautiful experience for a movie that came out in 2006 with these visuals that are absolutely stunning, and the sound effects in this movie are just like, ah, man. Like, just listen to the crinkle of these leaves. The sound of each individual blade of grass being passed over as these little fellas run around. And even the sound of a speedster squirrel transcending the laws of reality itself. But anyways, this movie starts out with Rocket the Raccoon getting way too greedy and waking up Winnie the Pooh, who gets pissed that his honey's gone and gives bro 1 week to get all the food gathered, or he's dead as a motherfucker. Real shit though, Vincent is one scary ass bear, bro. He has the giant but slender design, and his fur is beautifully animated. Throughout the movie, you get a really strong grasp of how much of a threat he actually is, despite him only being in a fraction of the movie. This man is a fucking beast. And then, after that, we get this really beautiful opening credits scene, which is different because most movies now use an end credits scene instead, but I just thought that this one was really charming and worth bringing up. Tiger Woods then sets out to get the food and finds a group of animals waking up from hibernation, and they're struggling to understand the suburbanization of their home. Throughout this part of the movie, RJ, he's the raccoon, manipulates the other animals to help him gather food that he needs for the bear and promise of enlightenment. This group consists of Donatello, Pepe Le Pew, Alvin and the Chipmunks before they got put up for adoption, Avril Lavigne and her dad, but they are zombies, but not like zombie bees, and the guy from The Office locked inside a speedster cookie monster. And the main reason he's able to manipulate them is because he has more knowledge than they do about what is beyond the almighty Steve, which gives us this really silly explanation of human things through the eyes of an animal that can't quite grasp the depths of all the inner workings of a modernized version of living and how they perceive our increasing gluttony as a society. It's a really cool perspective to see. And I mean, Hammy is literally just so me, bro. We're literally the same. I mean, look at him.
Junk! I like a cookie. You stay away from those cookies. They're mine. I'm a crazy rabbit squirrel. I want my cookie!
A big aspect of this movie is the increasing tension between Vern and RJ, as both are, or at one point were seen as leaders individually for the others, and this rivalry between the two stems from the animal's desire to embrace the life that RJ is presenting, whereas Vern is extremely wary of the lifestyle and the safety of his family, as his first impression of life beyond Steve went very, very poorly. He did get a cool whip though, to be fair. At this point in the movie, you're starting to get a decent idea of the direction the movie is going in terms of antagonists, because you generally understand that the bear is going to be an issue later on because of the schizo hallucinations that RJ has throughout the movie, and this business lady named Gladys, she's kind of fine, is also a big problem as she's determined to get rid of all the animals, and so she calls yet a third antagonist in terms of a Ghostbuster, which seems like a lot, but the way this movie balances it is actually really impressive, and it feels like it's done in the best way possible. After a huge montage they had collecting everything on RJ's list, Franklin gets pissed like a little crybaby and tries to take all the food back to the other side of the hedge. And they have this chase scene and Elon Musk sends them to Mars, but they don't quite make it and fucking nuke Gladys's house. And so, all the food is gone. RJ is running out of time, and Gladys just set up enough beds to kill the Ender Dragon, so there's no way for them to get it back. Unless they had a plan. Ba 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 da ba. ba 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 ba. Spy song. Spy song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one asshole that always goes, I'm the car. I'm always the motherfucking car. Whenever you play Monopoly, I'm that person, so I can't judge, you know. The heist is going perfectly until RJ gets too greedy. They get caught and a cork is popped and the whole room is gassed before RJ goes to abandon his newfound friends. But then RJ decides he doesn't want to break bad, and so he has a moment of realization and he goes to save them like the loyal hero he is. And I had to cover my eyes for this part because the scary bear is back. I'm sorry guys, we're gonna have to skip this part. I can't. It's too much for me. You guys might be okay, but I don't know, man. It's a pretty scary movie. After being chased all the way into the hedge from all three antagonists surrounding them from either side, they have this genius plan and all of their problems deal with each other, and it's this super awesome idea that they had. They even brought out the petrification beam, and, you know, I was a little scared for a second because, like, PTSD shit, but, you know, nobody got turned to stone. It was fine. It's really nice, though, because we get this scene of Hammy. It's a kind of a cliche speedster kind of thing, but he does, like, a... You know, he sets up the whole plan, and it all works out in their favor. And then right at the end, they hammer home the message of family not necessarily being a blood-related thing, and that it's more of an idea or a concept, where as long as you care for someone in that capacity, then you're basically family, and it's kind of wholesome. And before I end the video here, I want to go over some details and some silliness throughout the movie. We've got pitching religion, a car rammed into a fucking house, this porcupine has a mustache, this possum is sometimes cross-eyed, Avril Lavigne and her fucking corpse. Oh, and in case you haven't noticed, this movie has a pretty peak GameCube game that was made for it, that I've been using for background footage here. It plays pretty nicely, and there is a speedrun for it, and it's actually not that bad. It's kind of interesting, so maybe that's your calling, I don't know. Yeah. And that's pretty much Over the Hedge. This movie is so fucking peak. Anyways, if you liked this video, subscribing would be awesome. Or you could watch this video I did on Kronk's New Groove that's very similar, and then figure out if you're still interested in my content first. I'm thinking next video will be on maybe Tarzan. That's kind of the idea. It's not set in stone yet, but, you know, anyways, I'm out. Doodles.